is too short for fear.
Bond is a war alternative. My list just got longer.
Test, test. There we go. Cool. All right. So you join us today for a rescheduled game, I do believe. We are playing Lancaster High School. Uh, this is supposed to be, I think, our week 3 game, which may not actually be rescheduled. Though originally I think this game was scheduled for later this afternoon, though it got pushed up due to cancellations and just oddities. You are right now in the middle of our drafting. East Troy is on the right side for enemies, and then Lancaster is on the left side. Lancaster is technically home for this game today, and East Troy is the away team. So obviously, you're catching it here on our channel. It looks like East Troy has gone with Cled, Master Yi, and Jinx, while Lancaster is going with Nautilus, Chugath, and Ramus. Let's see what I got for names over on Lancaster's side. Looks like we got Hard Rock Arrow, Shaben Cool, Bear Eats Glue, Meyer, kind of like the grocery store. East Troy is up picking right now. I do believe it is Fake Merch who is picking at the current moment. With Rise. Back over to Lancaster, taking their time. And it looks like the last player on Lancaster side is Shotgun Safari. All right. And as players are finalizing their picks, just a couple of things. So we will be on a 2.5, 3 minute delay, I do believe, with the stream. So we will be joining here a little later. Everyone's getting their loadouts prepared. So while we kind of sit here and chill out, we can kind of recap the season so far. Our preseason game was unfortunately a forfeiture. Then we played our first round game against, and I can pull it up here real fast just to make it easy. Let's go to my dashboard. Let's see. Excuse me, this takes a hot minute just because I gotta look over information. This is Fortnite. League of Legends, though, I do have time. Well, that's not correct either. Here. All right, so we had in round 1 Chihai, which, if my memory serves, was Chippewa High School. Unfortunately, we lost that round. Last week, we were supposed to have a match against Whitewater High School. It was a rescheduled game, but unfortunately, they had to forfeit. Today, technically this week, we were supposed to have a bye, but we rescheduled for today's game for today. And then next week, we have our spring break, which means that we are off. So the season's kind of been all over the place here for the last couple of weeks. Thankfully, when we come back from spring break on April 3rd, we should have a more regular schedule where we'll be having games every Wednesday, with hopefully if everything pans out the way it's supposed to. Other than that, I don't know about you all. We are looking forward to spring break here in the next couple of days. I also got to remember that I am on the desktop stream at the current moment, and we'll see what the switch over is like when we go over to the actual game footage. So talking about spring break, I don't know if anyone's there. Hopefully, you have some good plans. We are taking a little bit of a hiatus over the week. We just don't have any practices or games just because players are kind of in and out of town. So we just kind of have to go through there. Excuse me one moment here. Sorry, just checking because they're breaking down some tables from last night's school board meeting. So just kind of trying to kind of make sure no that sound from the other room is coming in. Ooh, oh, oh, it's either good or bad. Uh-oh. Oh. All right. I think we still got a little bit of time here to wait. This is a good time to talk to the players on East Troy's side. Oh, and here we are. All right, let's give it a couple seconds. This is Lancaster, so let's go over to East Troy here. We'll follow Pixelate Dad for a little bit. All right, let's see if I can do this now. Unfortunately, I can't. So let's go over to League of Legends face. Are you gonna pick up that game? There you go. Sorry, it's just the weirdness of trying to cast League of Legends. We always seem to have an issue where basically just bumps us out for that little bit. All right, so we will start. We'll kind of follow Pixelate Dad, though I do see some action happening over here. Since I'm at it, I make sure I always like to toggle off those time controls, just so that way they're out of my way. So our minions have spawned. Let's see, we got Mr. Iselpreme here in the middle lane. Meyer starting to attack the minions. Shaven Cool down here on bottom lane. Pixelate Dad and Shotgun Safari on top lane. I'm trying to kind of find some interesting engagements here. Dark Helix and Fake Merch taking bottom lane. And Danimator doing jungle. Is it jungle? I'm not entirely sure, actually. It's been a long day. My brain is kind of fried here, so trying to go through and shoutcast a game might be a little much. I'll try to do my best to get you guys, keep you in the loop and make sure you're getting to see some of the good action going on here in the game. Let's see. It looks like Pixelate Dad's pushing up down the lane here on the top side, getting closer towards the tower. Taking a look at gold, East Troy and they're both Lancaster's pretty even at the current moment. Ooh, we got to see Pixelate Dad leveling up. Talking about levels, let's see. There, Lancaster's got a 2, a 3, a 3, a 3, and a 3. Each Troy's got a 4, a 3, a 3, another 4, and then another 3. So slightly ahead in terms of levels. Hop down to this bottom lane here. Pretty balanced at the current moment. Though Lancaster's jungle player is moving around, taking out some characters. Danimator's trying to find something, doing some, so that way they can get some buffs for East Troy. Coming in to attack this top lane. Pixelate Dad bailing. But Shotgun Safari disengages. Dark Helix, no, not alone. Just couldn't see. Waiting for Lancaster to push up the lane a little bit more. Getting still pretty even here in the first initial bouts. Bear eats glue. Move it around. Say, watch this top lane here for a little bit with Pixelate Dad. Yeah, it looks like Lancaster's going to take out one of the on-map monsters. And took out the Drake. Getting a bit of a buff. And first blood. Let's see. It goes to Lancaster. Lancaster overtaking East Troy in terms of gold. It was well done by East Troy, or by Lancaster. Slowly creeping ahead. Pixelate Dad and Shotgun Safari going at it here. Oh, it's neck and neck. Pixelate Dad, though, in trouble. Though Shotgun Safari having to disengage, having to fall back to his tower. Trying to play a little bit more conservative. Let's check out the middle lane here. Maybe there's some interesting action happening. Not a lot. It's pretty quiet. Just slaying minions. Dark Helix and Fake Merch still on this bottom lane. though, is trying to kind of hang back towards their tower, not pushing too far. A little bit of the tower here chipped away against Lancaster. Pixelate Dad kind of having to hang back just because he's low on health. Danimator trying to help out as best he can. East Troy overtakes again, though, in terms of team gold. That was one of the things the East Troy players worked on this week was trying to balance their gold and making sure their economy was strong. Mr. Isapri retreating back. Oh, no, just teleporting over. And Pixelate Dad having to fall back, channeling. And Danimator goes down. See, we got some interesting action happening down here on the bottom lane. This is part of the Dark Helix pushing down the lane here. Lancaster player channeling. Pixelate Dad making it back into the fight. Danimator. Ooh, and Dark Helix slays Shaven Cool here. Dying him to get a little chance to maybe attack. Fake merch. Splitting off of Dark Helix. Pixelate Dad and Danimator taking on. And Bear Eats Glue about to go on the Void Grubs. Getting a buff for them. Sorry, I turn off my fog of war here. And again, gold's still pretty even here as we get into about the 11th minute. East Troy kind of taking a slight little lead on chipping away at some of these towers. The Lancaster slowly making their way back and now getting a chance to do an attack themselves. Dark Helix and Fake Smurfs pushing back up to contest this lane. Take a look at levels on each side. We're looking at, on Lancaster's side, a 6-6. Another level 6, a level 8, and a level 9 versus East Troy. We're looking at a level 9, a level 7, a level 7, a level 9, and a level 6. So, pretty even. A much more interesting game than we had last time. Oh, excuse me one sec. Mrs. P is right, sorry about that. Mrs. P had to call me and talk for a couple minutes. All right, so we follow right now East Troy attacking one of the Drakes. And also in that process, unfortunately, blue team stole it. And manages to take out Danimator in the process. Another one of the East Troy players goes down as well. East Troy has to be careful if with those steals like that. But East Troy looks like they were getting ready. They also managed to take out two of Lancaster's players. Again, much more balanced game for East Troy this time around compared to last week. A lot of the practice that they have been putting in over the last few days is starting to pay off. Gold is pretty even. Kills still pretty even. East Troy is taking out a bit more bugs. Lancaster's taking out more drakes. Ooh, Fake Merch is taking out one of who was that? Shaben Cool. Hard Rock Arrow having to fall back towards the tower. Meyer on a rampage up top here. Pixelate Dad and Mr. Easelpreem having to bail out, though Shotgun Safari takes out Pixelate Dad. And Missile Easterby is probably not far behind. Meyer really taking the lead for Lancaster in terms of kills. And it leaves Lancaster a little bit of time to take and press their advantage here in the different lanes. East Troy is going to have to return quickly to respawn. And the first tower in the middle lane for East Troy is pretty damaged. East Troy having to kind of push back Shotgun Safari here. Was that an emote I saw? Naughty, naughty. Per league rules, you're really not supposed to emote like that. Danimator. I think thinking about it. Oh, better judgment came into play. Looks like the East Troy's top tower is pretty damaged as well, though. This bottom tower for Lancaster's damaged. Shotgun Safari. Pixelate Dad. Ooh. We got maybe an interesting fight going on here. Ooh. One goes down. Bear eats glue. Takes down Danimator. It's an even trade. Leaving Pixelate Dad free to work on this top lane. Dark Helix takes down Shaven Cool. And also takes down Hard Rock Arrow. Ooh, we got some interesting action going on here. We got Bear Eats Glue and Meyer. Red team destroyed the first turret. East Troy took out the first turret here on the bottom lane. Took out one of the Rift Herald. It's a pretty even game still. In terms of levels, pretty even on both sides. Pretty even. We got an interesting match here today. Blue team turret was destroyed up here on the top lane now. East Troy really pressing their advantage as best they can. Pixel 8 Dad channeling back. There is one major difference in terms of the buffs that each team has. East Troy needs to consider taking out one of the Drakes while making sure they don't lose. Ooh, we got a big one. Mr. Yusufian took out Shambo. Shaka Safari taking out Damator. Pixelate Dad taking out Hard Rock Arrow. It was a shutdown. Dark Helix still staying with here to take out the Drake. But not enough and having to kind of bail, though. They come back. And East Troy takes out an Infernal Drake. Earning a buff for them. It'll be interesting to see how Lancaster comes back from this. Ooh. And now Lancaster loses their central first turret on the middle lane. So East Troy pulling ahead in terms of turrets. Though Mr. E Supreme goes down and Pixel Dad also goes down. Dark Helix and Fake Merch thinking about coming in, though I think a bit too late, and ends up just getting attacked by a variety, by essentially most of Lancaster's turn. The middle turret goes down for East Troy on the central lane. And Fake Merch and Dark Helix both go down. So East Troy pretty much being wiped out, really only leaving Danimator left as Lancaster pushes the middle lane very aggressively and takes down the other turret in the lane. Looks like East Troy has got about 10 seconds and they'll all be back up and running again. Ooh, Pixelate Dad takes out Shotgun Safari. You got Danimator, who looks like he was about to channel, but ends up canceling. So Lancaster free to do whatever they want in the middle lane. East Troy still has to take out the second tower in each lane. Lancaster has to deal with the two towers in the side lanes. Like I said, still a pretty even game. East Troy is 2 behind in terms of kills. East Troy, though, leading in gold and towers just by 1. We got some action going up here. Pixelate Dad trying to push down the top lane. Coming up against his rival, which is Shotgun Safari. Bails out just because now he's got 2 players on him. And ends up getting attacked and has to bail. But to no avail. And Shotgun Safari takes out Pixel 8 Dad. Fake Merch, though, takes out Meyer. Though having to bail with Dark Helix here before Shotgun Safari tries to take him out. And we are about 25-ish minutes into this game. Again, pretty even in terms of main stats. Buff-wise, East Troy has 1, though Lancaster has 2. And it's a bit of a lull here in the action. It really depends on which team is able to really get some momentum going here and really do a large push like Lancaster did on that middle lane. And Shotgun Safari getting attacked by Danimator and Pixelate Dad. So close. They just got to take and go a little bit further. And Shotgun Safari goes down. Danimator taking him out. Mr. Isopreme taking out Meyer, it looked like. Or no, excuse me, Meyer took out Mr. Isopreme. And Fake Merch also must have been attached. And Bear Eats Glue taken out. Dark Helix, it looks like. Pixelate's dad, though, doing the good fight down here and taking out that final turret here. Starting to push into Lancaster's base. And East Troy still leading a little bit on gold. Ooh, we got some big action. Barry School taking out Danimator. And this is where East Troy tends to struggle a little bit, is when there's a conscious push by another team. Though it looks like Mr. Isopreme kind of hanging out over here by the Infernal Drake. Another turret taken down on East Troy's side. Kind of bundling back up. Already. Are they going to come in? The Lancaster trying to take out the Infernal Drake. East Troy trying to block them and interrupt. Well, Lancaster was fast to break up the fight just because East Troy was not as coordinated as they could have been. Though Lancaster taking a lot of damage in the process. And Dark Helix taking out Sabin Cool. Now East Troy going in for the Infernal Drake. So has to be careful because one stray shot and blue team Lancaster stole the Infernal Drake from East Troy. And Meyer takes out another player. Pixelate Dat going down. Triple kill. A quadra kill. And then aced. Which means East Troy is down and they are free to take and move as they please. Lancaster has very much taken the lead here with a big swing in their favor, wiping out East Troy. We will see if they are able to capitalize on this. Lancaster doing a good job stealing from East Troy those Drake's kills. And East Troy back into the game here. Mr. Isopreme moving further on this top lane. They're getting ready. It looks like they're taking on. Some interesting action. And it looks like Mr. Isopreme and Meyer just took each other out. And taking out the Baron Nashur. And Pixelate Dad going down. Getting trapped out by himself. And like I said, the game swinging over into Lancaster's favor. The kill count has widened by quite a almost a 10-point margin. So East Troy is still leading in terms of towers taken out and are about to maybe add an additional tower. Just barely. East Troy kind of having to bail back here as most of Lancaster's team is pushing on the middle turret. Meyer taking out Dark Helix. Fake Merch also being taken out. Lancaster making a big push here in the middle lane. East Troy having to deal with the fact that they are going to have to try to contest this down 2 players. And Meyer taking out Mr. E Supreme. Red Turk going down here in the main. Danimator having to bail out. Pixelate Dad being slain as well. Taking out one of the red inhibitors. And Lancaster backs off here. A nice push, taking out a tower and an inhibitor in the middle lane. Kind of getting a chance to fall back, regroup, and get ready for another big push. East Troy kind of reeling with a lot of their players out, though Missile East Supreme will be back here in 2 seconds. Danimator 10 and Pixelate Dad and also in 10. East Troy is going to have to really get something going here and be prepared to make a big push. In terms of and looking at, we still got fairly even in terms of gold. Though the kill count has swung in Lancaster's favor. Took a look at the different levels that we have. Looks to me that Lancaster is a 13 to 13, a 15 to 16 to 17. East Troy is a bit more even with 2 15s, a 14, a 13, and a 12. So falling behind ever so slightly with Shock and Safari really leading it in terms of levels. Lancaster going in for an attack here. Mr. Isoprim trying to kind of hang out. Maybe trying to steal, but not able to get there in time. And East Troy, Danimator going down. Pixelate Dad going into the fray, though. A 3-on-1 might not be the best idea. A little bit more even. A 4-on-3. Now, Lancaster having to fall back. East Troy has to be careful. They do not need another team wipe. Bear Eats Glue going in, trying to whittle away East Troy's health. Meyer having to really fall back. East Troy coming across here as they do. Dark Helix coming in for also to attack, and Hard Rock Arrow goes down. East Troy kind of grouping up here. Mr. Isopreme, though, on the top lane, having to bail out. Getting caught out here. Looks like we're kind of getting a little bit of a push here on top lane. East Troy down a player. Pixelate Dad now getting attacked by 3. All right. And going ahead here, going ahead. Looks like Lancaster's getting ready for a big push here. East Troy's on timeout. Lancaster working their way through in jungle. East Troy, though, still trying to put up a fight. Doing their best. All the East Troy players are back up here. Red inhibitor has spawned. It's good news. The animator here working on some of these small kills, trying to keep up. Lancaster getting ready here for a fairly large push. East Troy kind of grouping up as well. Lancaster looks like they're about getting ready to do a major push here on the central lane. Pixelate Dad, Dark Helix, and Fake Merch in that middle lane having to bail, though. Trying to get back to the safety. And we could see a big push here. Meyer taking out 3 players. Shotgun Safari taking out that inhibitor that respawn. Now going for the tower. Gonna take out the other tower. And we could very well see the very end of the game here. Pixelate Dad and Mr. Ice being the only 2 left. Pixelate Dad going down. And Mr. Isopreme trying to stop it, but not able to. And Lancaster takes a win for today. All right. Well, to continue. Switch back over here. All right. So that is the end of today's game. We, again, are off next week, so we will see you back here in April. Otherwise, have a good rest of your day and have fun.